Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for clicking on this video. As you can see from the title down here, I am gonna be reviewing the NikkieTutorials and BeautyBay palette today. I am gonna be sharing my thoughts on this palette, maybe some tips and tricks on how to use this palette, and I am gonna be sharing this look right here that I created. A little tutorial on. If you wanna watch that and you want to know my thoughts on this palette, then keep on watching this video. It's like a little fly thingy. Also, subscribe for more videos if you want to see more beauty tutorials and makeup related videos. I post every Sunday here on YouTube, so if that sounds like something that you will be interested in, please subscribe. And yeah, let's get into the tutorial. Okay guys, so let's get this started. The first thing I want to show you is the packaging, because the box it came in, it's completely customized. So it says NikkieTutorials x BeautyBay, and the inside is all customized with her name and just a different kind of print than the usual BeautyBay packaging. And right here we have the palette. It comes in this beautiful like black box with a lot of glitter. I'm not sure you're gonna be able to see it because of my lights are reflecting on it, but it has a beautiful like glitter shiny packaging and a little keyhole where you can open it, or at least that's the idea of it. Inside is the palette. The whole palette in a little bit, but it also comes with a little like card, and on the back side it says, "Hello guys, it's me, Nikki. Hello, I want you to make the most out of these gorgeous shades, so I want to show you how to master their full potential. Some of the formulas work best when applied with a shadow brush to build them up, while others work better when applied with the fingers. Check out the symbols on the other side to see which. Have fun creating." I think that's really cool. So it has the little card and it shows each shade and what you can use it best with, so a brush or your finger. So usually the shimmers will recommend them to use with the finger. That's the best way to apply them. And it also came with a little pop socket for your phone. In the first batch that they shipped, everybody was getting a little pop socket. You could either get like the one from her colorful side, so a pink one, or the one from her dark side, and I got the one from the dark side, the black one. I'm gonna try to show you this on camera because the packaging of the palette is really pretty. So I just made my camera just a little bit darker, hoping that you're gonna be able to see this. But this is supposed to be her dark side and her really bright side, fun side of her, and the drawing on this is super nice. The black one has like some glitter on it, and this one has the glitter on the little house. And just the overall feel of the palette, it feels really heavy. It does feel really heavy, which is nice. I wasn't expecting that just because it's like a carton packaging, but it does feel really good quality. Let's open the palette. I'm gonna scooch over. So this is her more like colorful side, like whenever she likes to play with makeup and likes to dive into some of the more brighter shades. These are the ones she picked. So it has like some pastel shades, are really cool shimmers, and a little mirror on this side, and then the darker side is more warm tones, a really cool deep purple, and the blue shade right here is also very nice. So this is the more smoky, darker side of her palette, and it has two mirrors. One is just a normal mirror and one is magnified. So I think that's really cool. I've never seen that in a palette before. Yeah, I am gonna be sharing my thoughts on this and do a little tutorial, and we're gonna see how the shadows perform together. I do have some skincare on my skin, and I've done my brows. I didn't do my base just because I did play with this palette yesterday on an Instagram live, and I had done my base and I used one of the shimmers and it got all over my skin. So that was not fun. So I decided to just do my brows and we'll do eyes together, and then I'll do the rest off camera. So these shadows are pressed pigments, which means that they are pressed very softly in the pan. So you have to be very careful with them when you're using them. Try not to dip really hard in the pan just so you don't get as much fallout. Another thing is to use a good primer to make the most of your shadows. Nikkie always uses the P. Louise primer, I think, so I'm gonna use the P. Louise primer today. And I'm gonna use this to prime my eyes. I like to just take a little bit on my eyelid and blend that out with a little sponge. I don't like to use a lot of primer, just enough to cover some of my veins and discoloration on my eyelids, and just enough to the shadows have something to grab on. So before I jump into the tutorial, I want to do some swatches on my hand, just because my last review video I didn't do that, and I know a lot of people really like to see swatches. I'm not going to be swatching all of them just because it's not really my thing. I don't really mind swatches. I am more so interested in how they perform on my eyes, but I know a lot of people like to see some swatches. So I am going to swatch some of the shimmers just on the back of my hand, just so you guys can see. And the shimmers was really what sold me on this palette, because at first I was just a little bit overwhelmed with how the colors were placed in the palette. Didn't really want to get it until I saw some swatches of the shimmers. These are some of the shimmer shades in the palette. I am gonna turn down my lights just a little bit just so you can see them better. So here they are. Very metallic, super shiny. When I dipped into the palette, they almost feel like as if they were cream shadows. It's really hard to explain. So the first shade that I am gonna go in is this one right here, called Mila. Just with a fluffy brush. I'm gonna start blending that in my crease. So I am just gonna really put this in my crease and slowly start to blend it. And I just dipped really softly in the pan, and this color goes a really long way. I haven't dipped back yet. That's really nice. And they blend really easy as well. Yeah, that looks really nice. I am just gonna bring a little bit more in the inner corner right here. So these are not looking patchy or anything like that. They look really soft and blended on my eyes. Also, no fallout with the matte shades yet. Okay, so there's this green color right here. It's called, I think it's called Ew. It looks really bluish on camera, but it's quite green in real life. I think I want to run that through my crease as well. So I am just cleaning off my little brush that I have, and I am gonna dip into that green. Just go a little bit more above the brown shade. It's not as bright as I thought it was gonna be, but it's not getting muddy. Usually when you try to blend like a really bright shade with a brown, it starts to get muddy and they just don't blend in together nicely. But this is looking, you can still see and the brown and the green, so that's really nice. Okay, so that turned out so much different than I was expecting. I think we are gonna do a whole nother color story now, but that's okay. I am gonna dip into the blue shade and put that in my crease. This blue shade has a lot of fallout in the pan, which is fine. I don't really mind, but you have to be careful that it doesn't get like all over your desk or your clothes or stuff like that, because that's not really fun, especially when it's a blue. They tend to stain a little bit, so be careful. I am gonna put this in my crease just under the green shade, just to make them merge better. and look a bit more cohesive. One is also applying really nicely and blending really easy. I mean, I could have just started with this blue shade, but I thought I was gonna do browns, and then I put green, and now I have to put blue in it just so it looks good. But that's okay, because this way I can really try out the other colors from the palette. And that's just the thing at first with this palette. When I first saw it, I was really overwhelmed, like, how am I gonna combine these colors together to make them look good? And this is a good test to see if there are enough mattes that you can use to help blend. That was just, and still is, my big concern with this color story. Like, I have to think just a little bit harder to see what colors will go well with each other. I'm just taking my green brush again and trying to blend the edges of the blue. I'm gonna zoom you in a little bit just so you guys can really see the shadows up close. I think now you can really see the shadows up close. I'm just taking a little bit more of my dark blue, start blending it in a little bit more into that green. And just on the outside here, I like to flick it up a bit upwards to create a little bit more of a lifted shadow. This blue is not getting as deep as I wanted to, but it is blending nicely into the green. I just want it to be a little bit more smoky. I just feel like the more that I blend it, the more it disappears and loses pigment. That is kind of a weird, yeah, like, I don't know if you can see that. Like, do you see how it skips right here? It just skips and doesn't keep the pigment there. I'm not sure why it's doing that, but I am gonna leave it like this, I think, and move on to the next shade, because I don't think I can get it any darker than this, to be honest. Okay, so I did the other eye, and as you can see, they are both looking the same. It's just like my lids won't grab the shadow. I know that is so weird. I've never experienced anything like this with any other shadows. So maybe because they're pressed pigments, I should have first done the really dark blue and really pressed it in, and then blend it out with the green shadow. I think that might have helped it a little bit better, but I am not sure. So I am not gonna judge the palette by that just yet, because it could have just been the way that I applied the shadow. So I am gonna take a fluffy brush, just a fluffy brush, and I am gonna dip into the yellow shade right here, this one, blend out the edges of the green, so just slightly, not too much. I am barely like touching my skin for this. That blends really cute. It kind of creates like a neon lime shade, just using the yellow on top of that green. And then I think I just wanna cut my crease, just because you're not gonna be able to see the shade right here anyway. So, and then I wanna put like a nice shimmer on top of my lid. Yeah, that's what I wanna do. So to cut the crease, I am using this Louise paint, the blank canvas, just like a skin tone base, and this is really nice for cut creases. I'm just taking that on a flat brush, and I am gonna start cutting my crease with this. And so this magnified mirror from the palette is actually really cool, because for cut creases like this, you want to get really close to your eyeballs, and then you can actually see everything really nicely, and you can create a really crisp line for your crease. So I think that's actually a really cool element of the palette. I know a lot of people were saying like, why would you put that in it? nobody's gonna use it, but I think it's actually pretty cool, especially because you can close this side and it's really easy to hold. But I am gonna try to blend the blue again just on the outer corners right here, and I am just gonna press it. Maybe pressing it on is gonna help me a little bit better with this shade. I'm getting a little bit on my skin, but again, that's okay because I haven't done my base yet, so it's still skipping a little bit right here, so I am just gonna leave it like that. Don't think I am gonna be able to save this blue. Just placing it on the other eye so it looks cohesive. I mean, when you tap it on, it looks really bright and pigmented, but when you start blending, it just goes away and it blends away, and then you have like this patchiness left on your eyes. I really don't understand it. I think I'm just gonna put a shimmer on my eyes and leave it like that, because I really don't know how else I'm gonna be able to save this look. I'm putting a little bit of glitter primer on my lid because I did use a shimmer from the palette last night and it got all over everywhere as well, and I don't want that to happen. I actually want to try a pink shade that could look really weird, but I think it's gonna look cute. I want to try this one on my eyelids. I'm gonna try a brush first, and I am just pressing that on my eyelids. That is pretty. It's almost like a glitter. Also, no fallout from this shimmer shade, so that's good. This shade is really, really pretty. So I think I am gonna do this color just on the half of my lid, and I am gonna put another shimmer in the inner corner right there. Let me try it with my finger. That will be a lot faster as well. This is a really, really pretty shade. Oh, that is so nice. Okay, so now that I have that right there, I'm actually gonna go into this pink shade, and I am gonna try to blend that into the dark blue. So the blend looks a little bit more seamless, the shimmer going into the blue. That is creating a beautiful purpley shade. So now I think I want to go into Ivy, which is the bright white duochrome in the palette, and I'm taking that again on my tiny brush. This is almost like a cream shadow. It's very pretty, and I am gonna apply that right in the inner corners next to my pink shimmer. And that white shade was really, really chunky, as you can see, so I think that would be better if you would go in with your finger and apply that with your finger on your lids, just because the warmth of your fingers is really gonna melt that shadow and make it less chunky. So I'm just taking a spoolie to kind of flick away any shimmer that might have gotten in my crease. I think it does looks really, really pretty. The color combination did turn out better than I thought, especially after using that blue shade. I got really scared, but blending it in with that pink really worked. Only on the outer sides right here is still looking a little bit patchy, but I'm not gonna touch that anymore just because I know it's not gonna look good if I do. Okay guys, so all I did was finish my face, did my brows, and created this little winged liner, and I am gonna do my lower lash line with you. And for that, I think I just want to do maybe the pink shade in the palette, this one. Just taking it on a little brush, and I am gonna start blending it right here. So this shade has so much fallout as well. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see that. On this eye, I am just gonna press it. So you just want to press, and that way you will get less fallout. On this eye, I was kind of sweeping it. think I am just gonna leave it like that, just with the pink on my lower lash line. I'm just gonna leave it like this. I think the pink really ties in with the lid colors right here, so I think we can just do that. Okay guys, let's get into my final thoughts for this palette. I am gonna give Nikkie an A+ for packaging. For me, it's a 10 out of 10. From the box where the palette comes from BeautyBay, it's fully customized. I've never seen anything like that with a collab. I think that was amazing. The pop sockets are super cute, so giving back to your followers with just a little gift, that I think that's such a nice thought to have and to give back. And even just the palette itself, it's beautiful. The glitter, the art, it's super detailed, and I think it's super cool. The ombre from pink to purple to really dark black, it's really cool. I love the little mirrors where one is just like your normal mirror and one is magnified. I think that is super useful. I know a lot of people don't enjoy that, but I think it comes in really handy, so I am pro to that. As I said during the tutorial, to me the colors didn't make sense at first. Just by seeing them, I didn't think, well, I'm gonna mix these colors together and I'm gonna create this look with these colors. That for me was a bit confusing, but playing with it and just really dipping into the colors and seeing what blends with what, I think they do complement each other really nicely. So you just kind of have to play with it and see what you want to create that day, and just kind of go with it. Shimmers are amazing. The formula from the shimmers is super creamy. They are super shiny. The one thing I would say is use a glitter primer, just so the shimmers have something to stick to and don't start falling on your face, especially if you like to do your base first and then your eyes. Yeah, you do get a little bit of kickback in the palette. I personally don't mind that because I do my eyes before my base, so I don't mind fallout. But if that's something that you don't like, you should be careful, especially with the really dark shades. They do kick back a lot, so go in with a soft brush and go in really carefully with your brush. Don't go in and dip really hard, because that's gonna create just more fallout. I would say the shimmers, again, use them with your fingers. That's gonna give you the most impact and the most shine on your eyes. Yeah, I mean, the blue shade didn't really work out for me at all. It went really patchy. It's still looking really patchy on my eye. Didn't want to blend. I don't know what the deal was with that. It could be just the way that I applied that blue shade. I will have to go ahead and test different primers maybe with this color, or maybe a different way of applying, because they are pressed pigments. I think you have to really pat them in and lightly blend them out, not really a lot of blending. That blue shade really didn't work out for me, and that's so sad, because it's stunning. It's a beautiful blue shade. It's so pretty and vibrant. Yeah, so that was sad. I was sad about that color. Did try out this shimmery blue yesterday, and it's also stunning. It did get all over my skin, so this shimmer has a lot of kickback as well. So again, you just have to be really careful when using these. I don't think this is a beginner friendly palette. I think you do have to have some makeup skills, just because they're pressed pigments and they're really hard to blend. So you have to know what eye primer to use, you have to know what packing brushes to use. So I don't know, I don't want to say it's not for everybody, but it is hard to use. It's not like a super easy blendable palette. You really have to know how to apply certain shadows and how to blend them out. I am not gonna give up on this palette though, because I really wanted to support Nikkie with her palette and her collab. I think it's a really cool collaboration. I will play more with this palette to see what other looks I can create with it, and see if I can make that blue shadow really work for me. I would say if you really want this palette, get it, but be aware of that you have to put just a little bit more work into it than maybe other shadows that you might have in your collection. That's what I want to say. Find a good primer and see what technique works for you. I hope that this video was helpful for you if you were thinking about getting this palette, and that maybe this helped you out a little bit with your decision. Again, I am not gonna judge it immediately because I've just used this palette twice and I've just used that blue shade once. So I am not one to judge immediately. I like to really dive in and play with the colors and see what works for them. But on first impressions, that shade was really patchy for me. That is the truth. I'm not gonna sit here and lie about it. So you go and do with that information what do you want. So, but I do think Nikkie killed it again with the palette. I mean, it's just beautiful to have in your collection. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. I hope to see you again soon. I will try and maybe create a looks or 2 looks with 1 palette video and post it here on my YouTube just for some more inspiration. And yeah, give this a little thumbs up if this was helpful for you, and subscribe, maybe watch some other videos on my channel. Yeah, I'm trying to post every Sunday here on YouTube, so subscribe to see more of that. That will be really fun, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.